and news breaks with the same speed.
Sometimes you find the news, and sometimes the news finds you.
All stations can keep up. At Adaba FM, we'll not only give you news at the speed of nanosecond, but we'll also break it down with up-to-date analysis, informed opinions, and distinct professionalism. That's why you love us. Adaba 88.9 FM, your go-to station.
The time is 3 o'clock. Good afternoon. I am Olabisi Olani Yoluwasegun with Adaba News at 3 in the news. Northwest and Southwest top INEC final voters list. UK shots Peter Obi'S company. DSS arrests Doyin Okupe.
This is the news.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has released the final list of voters that will cast their ballots in the elections, with the Northwest and Southwest having the lion's share of the 93.4 million eligible voters. The Commission's chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, said the number of registered youths was 37,060,399. In November 2022, the Commission published the preliminary register of voters across the 774 local government areas on its website to enable eligible voters to confirm their details, as well as for Nigerians to report ineligible persons captured in the register. Yakubu said the Commission received more than 53,000 objections to the register, after which the ineligible voters were removed. With only 44 days till the 2023 general elections, as a pro-democracy group, the Center for Democracy and Development has expressed concern over the increasing state of insecurity across the country. CDD raised the concern through the executive director of the organization, Idayat Hassan. Idayat Hassan said the group had been monitoring the conflict situation in the country through the Nigeria Election Violence Tracker in collaboration with the Armed Conflicts Location and Event Data Project to shape policy decisions in the build-up to the 2023 general elections. The group also called on voters to remain ready and resolute to take part in the process. The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 7, Kayode Egbetokun, has said the police would work more on intelligence gathering towards security for the forthcoming general elections. Egbetokun made the revelation during his familiarization visit with the Federal Capital Territory Police Command. He noted that police officers are the strategic managers for the provision of adequate security for election. He further ordered the FCT Police Command to intensify stop-and-search operations while urging the police officers to respect human rights and shun extortion in the course of their duties. The FCT Commissioner of Police, Sadiq Abubakar, also said the command had developed and implemented operational strategies to combat crime. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has lashed out at critics who claimed the administration of the President Muhammadu Buhari has failed in the area of economic development. He said that such statements are born out of ignorance, since infrastructure is a key driver of economic development. He explained this while giving his opening remarks on the ongoing 18th edition of the President Muhammadu Buhari Scorecard Series. He said the Buhari administration is ready to deliver another dividend of democracy to Nigerians. He explained that the second Niger Bridge has been completed and will soon be commissioned. You're listening to Adaba News at 3 on 88.9 FM, Akure, transmitting from Ilaramoki. Authorities in the United Kingdom have struck off Next International UK Limited, a company largely owned by the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. The company was struck off for failing to submit its annual accounts. Reports say the company was removed from the record in September 2021 following a first and second Gazette notice of compulsory strike of the entity. In the UK, a compulsory strike-off is imposed in the country on a company by creditors or by the Companies House for non-submission of annual accounts or failure to notify Companies House about a change of official registered office address. Once a company is struck off, its details will be removed from the Companies House register and the company ceases to exist. Next, International UK Limited failed to submit its annual accounts for the year 2020, hence the company was struck off and dissolved in 2021. The immediate past Director General of the Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council, Doyin Okupe, has reportedly been arrested by the Department of State Services at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. This was disclosed by one of his lawyers, Tolu Babaleye, on Thursday. According to him, Okupe was on his way to London. He claimed that the DSS asked him to provide court processes where he paid the fine option following his money laundering conviction by the Federal High Court in Abuja. The reason, according to Babaleye, is that he was asked to produce evidence that the Federal High Court, Abuja, has freed him from the case in which he was convicted and paid fine to the knowledge of the whole world and was allowed to go home. Meanwhile, the Department of State Service has thrown more light on the reasons behind the rearrest of Doyin Okupe. DSS cited the cooperation of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission as the mastermind for the interception. In 2022, Okupe was sentenced to 2.5 years imprisonment for breaching the Money Laundering Act. The EFCC that engineered the arrest said Okupe was charged to court for receiving 702 million naira in illegal payment from public funds meant to procure arms to fight insurgency in 2019. He was convicted of the offense by the Federal High Court. And still on the arrest of Doyin Okupe, he stated that his rearrest by the Department of State Service on the request of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission was erroneous and should not have happened. Okupe was arrested at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport on Thursday morning. He said his passport had long been withheld by the Federal High Court in Abuja even before finding him guilty of violating sections of the Money Laundering Act that attracted 2.5 years imprisonment. Okupe made this known in his Twitter handle. The former Special Assistant on Media and Publicity to President Olusegun Obasanjo and Senior Special Assistant on Public Affairs to President Goodluck Jonathan added that the officers of the EFCC in Lagos and Abuja have apologized for the error in his arrest. Okupe said he has been released by the DSS. And now to sports, Chelsea manager Graham Potter has described managing the London club as probably the hardest job in football. Potter, however, said he was not looking for sympathy as he tries to salvage the English football club season amid an injury crisis and after a summer of radical change across all areas of the club. He said expectations have remained high at Stamford Bridge in spite of a change in ownership in May. That was when a consortium headed by Todd Bowley completed a £4.25 billion takeover and restructured the club. Chelsea have dropped to 10th in the English Premier League after winning only one of their last 8 games. They've also been knocked out of both the FA Cup and League Cup, with last year's expensive transfer intake largely struggling to make an impact. Meanwhile, the club will play Fulham this evening in the ongoing Premier League. And now to end Adaban News at 3, a recap of our top stories. The Independent National Electoral Commission has released the final list of voters that will cast their ballots in the election, with the Northwest and Southwest having the lion's share of the 93.4 million eligible voters on the register. Authorities in the United Kingdom have shut Next International UK Limited, a company largely owned by the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. And finally, we told you that the immediate past Director General of the Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council, Doyin Okupe, has been arrested by the Department of State Services at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. That's Adaba News at 3. It was edited by Sunday Ajiboye. I am Olabisi Olani Yoluwasegun. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.